A few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to perform at a dance event with my friends. I've done this gig in the past, and I'd never passed up an opportunity to perform with them ever before. When the offer came, I felt instant excitement and anxiety all at once. I love dancing with my friends. They are the reason I started dancing in the first place. Dancing with them is one of my homes. I sat with the decision for over a month. I weighed all the feelings that were coming up. I did want to dance with them. And I felt out of practice and worried I wouldn't perform the way I wanted to. I also felt an obligation because I don't always have this opportunity. I felt guilty when I didn't really feel physically up to it because there are people who physically can't dance anymore. And here I was turning it down. I felt all the feelings. And then I got quiet enough to hear myself underneath all of them. What I realized was I wanted to dance with them, but I didn't need to perform. If it had been a regular class or rehearsal, I absolutely would have said yes. But the urge to perform wasn't there. It wasn't even there as a soloist, really. And that's okay. My life has changed a great deal in the last few years, and I'm honoring where it's at now. So instead of performing, I sat in the audience, and I got to take in all of their amazingness. I haven't actually been an audience member to their dancing for almost 25 years. I was expecting to feel regret. And instead, I felt nothing but gratitude, completely grounded, and I was radiating from the inside out. That decision took me over a month. And I want to talk about why that kind of patience is so hard, but how it's also possible. Hi, I'm SuperKate. Welcome to Connecting with SuperKate for women who have too many job titles, too many commitments, and are still determined to enjoy their lives anyway. Look, right now, AI is everywhere. And I've been around a lot of people who are being told and sold on AI solving all of their problems, that they need to jump on the train right now or fall behind. And I get it. I've been taken in by the allure of how many things it can do. I've used it in small ways myself. But recently I stepped back and asked myself, what am I actually trying to accomplish? How do I want my life and business to feel? How do I want people to experience what I do? And how does any use of AI change that? I don't think many people are asking those questions, not because they don't care, but because their nervous systems are on a hair trigger. And when that happens, we are constantly looking for the thing that's going to save us, the thing that's going to make us feel like we can finally take a breath and relax. So we jump. We reach for the next thing and the thing after that, and we surround ourselves with so many options and voices that we're basically creating more noise instead of listening to ourselves. Sound familiar? Here's what I've noticed and experienced myself. We get so flustered that we keep reaching for the next answer without ever spending time reflecting on the last decision we made, why that decision worked or didn't, and how we felt inside it. We don't check in with ourselves. We outsource that to everyone else, and then we wonder why we keep ending up in the same place. The ability to discern, to look at something for what it is, for what we need, for its good and bad possibilities, that comes from a regulated nervous system, not a perfect one, not a permanently calm one. Those just don't exist. Just one that isn't running on a hair trigger every single minute. And while progress can happen from chaos, progress that lasts comes from steady movement over time. So how do we get there? How do we develop more awareness in ourselves? Well, it starts with getting away from the noise, even if just for a few minutes a day. And I'm going to say something. Some of you may disagree, but I have not met a single person who can't find 5 to 10 minutes to sit quietly by themselves. Most people can do that a couple times a day, but we fill it with checking our phones or ruminating on a conversation we had or are about to have, or busy work that we haven't set aside focused time for. And I get it. We have so many responsibilities, but the more we can eliminate some of the noise, the better we get at discerning the best choices for ourselves. Wouldn't you rather be able to come up to a decision and know in the moment which direction you want to head, or know that you need more time, that you feel calm about needing more time, and that you feel calm about gathering the information and then setting aside time for it so you're not obsessing over it constantly for the next 5 days straight, whether you make the decision or not? Part of how I've built more of this groundedness is by removing some of the voices I had been surrounding myself with, taking small action steps and building more self-trust. I started noticing how much I was leaning on others, hoping they would have the magical answer. And I took accountability for the areas where I was waiting to be saved instead of trusting myself. The more I calmed my nervous system, the more I could tell the difference between looking to someone to learn something versus desperately wanting an answer they probably couldn't give me anyway. That day of the dance performance, I knew there would be some gratitude, but I honestly was expecting regret to show up and overshadow it all. But it didn't. It didn't even make an appearance. The difference was that I had gotten quiet enough to actually hear myself. And you can do that too. Where are you feeling rushed into a decision right now? And when will you set aside time to get quiet and feel how your body is reacting to the options? Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. I really appreciate the time that you set aside and the brain power, honestly, that you set aside to listen and connect. I do not take it for granted. Every week, a new episode is dropping. And if you enjoyed this episode, it would be amazing if you shared it with someone who needs this connection. Or share it on socials and tag me. Head to my website to explore the ways we can work together. And as always, I'm grateful to connect with you.